Hi, and I welcome you to this video. In this video, I'm going to answer the question, what is Objective-C? Apart from this, I will also talk about where and why we use Objective-C in first place. And then I will talk about the benefits that is carried with Objective-C, which makes it different from other programming languages. Objective-C is used for developing operating systems like iOS and OS X. iOS is an operating system used in iPhones, and OS X is an operating system used in Mac. Apart from developing these operating systems, Objective-C is also used to develop and run applications that uses these two operating systems as runtime environment. Now let's talk about a short history of Objective-C. Objective-C was invented by a couple of inventors named Brad Cox and Tom Lowe in early 1980s. The inventors were pretty much impressed about the famous C programming language, which is popular even now. But they're not happy with the fact that C is not a object-oriented programming language. Apart from C, there is also a programming language called Smalltalk. This was one of a object-oriented programming language that was there in 1980s. So our inventors wanted to get the power and fast execution capability of C. So our inventors derived a new programming language called Objective-C that is derived from C programming language. On top of it, they wrote a preprocessor that can implement all features from Smalltalk programming language. So by deriving Objective-C from C, they have got all power and fast execution capabilities of C. On top of it, they have also got object-oriented programming concepts from Smalltalk. With this, they packaged Objective-C to develop applications. Now let's see about the features that Objective-C has got compared to other programming languages like C++, Java, or any other programming language. Now the first one is messaging. As I have mentioned earlier, Objective-C has object-oriented programming capabilities of Smalltalk programming language. When you take other programming languages like Java or C++, to invoke a function in an object, we have to call the method directly during compile time. But in case of Objective-C, it has got a messaging capability that it got inherited from Smalltalk programming language. Using this capability, during runtime, when you want to invoke a function in an object, a message will be sent to the object, and the message will have the information about which function has to be invoked. Note that in other programming languages like Java or C++, we have to directly call the method in object that has to be invoked during compile time. But in case of Objective-C, during runtime, we will be sending a message which has the details about the function that has to be invoked in the object. This particular concept gives a greater flexibility during implementations. Apart from this, Objective-C is equipped with dynamic typing. Here, an object can receive messages not specified in the class interface. For example, in other programming languages like Java, when you want to directly invoke a method in object, definitely there should be a method present in the object that corresponds to the method you are trying to invoke. If you are trying to invoke a method that is not there in the object, during compile time, your program will throw an exception or error. But in case of Objective-C, since we are sending messages, there is not an obligation that there should be a function that corresponds to the message you have sent. Though there is no function in the object for the message you have sent, the message can be forwarded to other object that can have the function that is corresponding for the message. If an appropriate function for the message is not there even in that object, further the message can be forwarded to other objects. In case there is not a function at all for the sent message, then it's up to our preference how to handle the message when there is no function at all. We can either raise an error or we can handle it altogether in a different way. This gives us flexibility during implementations at runtime. Next important feature with Objective-C is categories. Categories are a sort of superclass structure that comes as part of the class that allows methods to be added to the class at runtime. So in this case, as I mentioned, you will be able to dynamically add methods to your classes at runtime based on the requirements. This gives you an enormous capability when you are expanding your project when the code base is already very large. These are the important features that comes with Objective-C, which makes it unique, most beneficial in one or other way compared to other programming language. With this, I hope you got a basic understanding of Objective-C. With this, I conclude this video, and let's meet in my next video. If you like my videos, don't forget to hit subscribe button and bell button.